Hi, it's David here from Amazing Brain Hacks. In today's video, as the title will tell you, I wanted to talk to you about the power of the subconscious mind. And to be honest, I think we still don't really know exactly how powerful the subconscious mind is. What we do know is that it's thousands of times more powerful than the conscious mind. We know that, but it's still a bit of a mystery, a lot of the workings of the subconscious mind, and we still have a long way to go, I think. But today I wanted to give you an example of something that happened to me recently, and it will just show you the power of the subconscious mind. And it's a story basically of a little cottage that I bought a couple of years back. Run-down cottage, about an acre of field at the back, and I'm repairing this cottage and doing it up. And one of the problems with this cottage was the septic tank. As you may know, that at the back of old houses you have a septic tank, and the drainage goes into a big tank at the back of the garden or in the field. And so this house the drainage hadn't been used for many years, and it probably all dried up and blocked up. So I needed to find it to get it cleaned out and drained out or whatever. So anyway, I go to the back of the house, and there's this long grass everywhere and reeds all over the place, and the ground is all overgrown. And I start to estimate where it could be based on the position of the toilet in the house, so I started digging about 10-15 feet from the house. And then I kind of moved a little bit to the right and a little bit to the left, and I was still quite optimistic about finding this tank. But after a few days of doing it, I completely did my back in, and I was in agony, because digging in this ground was so hard, the surface, and really, I mean, if you're fit like I am, I mean, you'd really struggle. But I think even the fit person would struggle digging in this kind of ground. So I had to take a few days off because my back was completely shot. And after a few days I started again. And this time I was digging away again, and still moving 10 feet, 5 feet to the left, 10 feet to the right. I even got one of these rods and I was prodding into the ground and finding all these stones instead of septic tanks. So I was really getting pretty desperate at this stage, and one afternoon anyway, I was digging away, and I just thought, this is just not happening. I give up. I'm not going to find this. I'm going to have to get a digger in here and dig the whole thing out of the field, because I just don't have a clue where it is, the septic tank. So at this point, I remembered I'd read the book by Dr. Joseph Murphy, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And I remember he said that if you use the power of the subconscious mind, it can increase your intuition and your perception 1,000 times, and you can do the most amazing things. So I decided that night, before I went to bed, to ask the subconscious mind in the form of a request to help me to find this septic tank in the garden. And then I went to sleep. I thought nothing more about it. So the next day I'm out again about 11 o'clock in the morning, digging away for another hour, an hour and a half, getting absolutely nowhere. Suddenly, out of the blue, I decided to go out of the house, out of the garden, walk a little bit down the road, and I saw a house that was quite similar to my property, an old house that seemed to be abandoned too. I walked into the field, crossed the field, looked around, and saw this little pipe sticking out of the ground. So I went over, and after scraping away a bit of the grass and stuff, I realised that was the septic tank. So from there I walked back to the house, about measuring my strides, and it was about 35 strides to the house. So I thought, why don't I give that a try? So anyway, I go back to the cottage, went out to the garden, backyard, the field at the back, and I walk 35 yards out from the house. 35 strides, I didn't measure it exactly. And anyway, I'm walking across the field backwards and forwards, and after about 5 minutes I land upon the lid of the septic tank. And there you go. The subconscious mind had found me the tank. It increased my intuition, my intuitive powers, my perception. I don't know what it was, but I'd made that request the night before, and the next day it just came to me in a second. This is what you've got to do. This is one of the small things that the subconscious mind can do. I believe it can do so much more in your life. All you've got to do is ask it, because during the night, while you're sleeping, it does all the calculating, like a massive computer. I hope this video was interesting for you, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Thank you very much. Bye bye.